Welcome to Mock the Mock, where I take a look at someone else's mock draft and I mock it, give you my views, thoughts, and opinions. I got a great one for today. Special thanks to our friends over at the Captors Collective. More on them a little bit later, but we're heading to the CBS, taking a look at Mike Renner. That's right, the legend, the GOAT, Mike Renner. He just released a new mock draft, so let's go ahead, get into this sucker. He is using reverse Super Bowl odds, so if you got a problem with the order, take it up with Vegas. Pick one, Cleveland Browns. Go with Fernando Mendoza, quarterback out of Indiana. Coming off a huge game, threw 5 touchdown passes. He's got prototypical size at 6'5", 225 pounds. However, I wouldn't say he's got an elite arm. I think he's got a good arm. And is he more of a product of Cignetti's system, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's not like he's got crazy tools. He's got good tools, very good. I'm being a little more reserved. I want to see him continue against better competition. I believe they got Iowa this weekend, so that's going to be a game to look out for. Doesn't mean he's not the first overall pick, because to me, he's very similar to like a Jared Goff, who is a former first-round pick. So I definitely can see him in this ballpark and in a class where it's like, well, who's going to be QB1? Are they worth the first overall pick? Mendoza is coming off a hot showing. Browns, yeah, they could be in the quarterback market. Tennessee Titans are here at pick 2. Go with Ruben Bain Jr. edge out of Miami. To you, baby, to you. This team needs pass rush. I think what Brian Callahan just came out was like, hey, we're not in fire sale mode. I know we traded Jarvis Brownlee, who I liked. I guess he's currently on IR with a foot injury, ankle injury. But I think you do look to that defense. You do look to the pass rush or the lack thereof. Really, if they're getting pass rush, it's coming from the interior. Currently, I think they got Devondre Sweat on IR as well. I would love the addition of Ruben Bain. I think that would be very, very sexy. You could look to get in more weapons for Cam Ward. In that case, maybe you consider Jordan Tyson with this pick, or you maybe look ahead to the 2027 wide receiver class, which should be an absolute banger. Nonetheless, I love Bain. I think he's going to be a top 10 prospect for me. I think he already was prior to the season. Where did I have him? I had him at 10, and he's probably going to move a couple of spots up. So I don't know if he gets into the top 5 for me. He might get into the top 5. I don't know. You never know. Miami Dolphins, fins up, baby, fins up. They go with Peter Woods, defensive lineman out of Clemson. I don't necessarily love this. The Dolphins, they kind of heavily invested in the defensive interior with Kenneth Grant, and then they did it twice in the 5th round last year. We still got Sealer there. I looked at the offensive line. It's bad. It's in trouble. I look to wide receiver. Tyreek Hill's not going to be there next year. I kind of want to focus the offense. That's kind of where my head is at. Woods hasn't had a great year, but he's got elite tools, great athleticism. You're thinking it'll get better for him as the season goes on. So you're still going to see him talked about in this top 10 environment. I actually just talked about him on yesterday's video, talking about guys who could return to school, though with Woods, I think it's a little bit more unlikely. Garrett Nussmeier going to the New Orleans Saints at pick 4. This one makes all the sense in the world, given Doug Nussmeier is the OC for the Saints. The Saints could be in the quarterback market, considering they'll do poorly this year. It really all depends on what they see in Tyler Shuck. And to be fair, Spencer Rattler's been all right this year, but are either of those guys going to be the guy? I don't know. Saints are in a fascinating situation. I think it would be easier to project what they might do if they didn't go with Shuck in the 2nd round. That kind of complicates things. Before we go any further, I want to talk about a super interesting sports betting system that I came across recently, the Captors Collective. The Captors Collective pays for premium picks of the top 50 sports betting handicappers in the world and combines them all to produce the ultimate consensus picks every day. I love this idea because it makes so much sense to me. Since their inception last year, they have a proven track record of winning consistently for their members and are already up 110 units on the year so far, meaning that $100 bettors would have already made over $10,000 this year alone using the system. The Collective subscribes to and tracks the performance of all the top sports betting groups for you, and their proprietary algorithm makes sure that the only handicappers who legitimately win long-term are used in their consensus system. This kind of sports betting innovation doesn't come around often, so I'd highly recommend checking out the Captors Collective premium membership options. and they're offering a special discount to my subscribers. If you use the promo code Broshmo, you'll get 25% off. Just follow the link in the description. It's also the pinned comment, but back to today's video. At pick 5, the Carolina Panthers go with Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State. And I kind of chuckle because they've spent first rounders. I believe Xavier, Leggett. They moved up to pick, I think, like 32, 31 to go get Leggett. And it's unfortunately not been that encouraging. Just hasn't worked. They have Tetairoa McMillan. So maybe you're looking for that 1-2 punch. Panthers, you look at a lot of the spots on their roster and you kind of like what they have. I think I probably would want to go with Caleb Downs. I know they've kind of had the emergence of Lathan Ransom, who was pretty solid last week, but I don't think he's good enough to stop me from drafting Caleb Downs, his teammate, his former teammate. And that'd be funny. They would be teammates going forward. That'd be awesome. I would like Downs here. Speaking of which, the New York Giants, they go with Caleb Downs, safety at Ohio State. And they're kind of in a similar boat where it's like they went out, they got Javon Holland. The Panthers went out, got Trevon Merrick. And then you have these two players you drafted recently with the Giants, Tyler Nubin, with the Panthers, Lathan Ransom. Panthers, you invested less to get Ransom than what the Giants did to get Nubin. And Nubin's been playing good too. And I get it with Downs, you could just move him all over the place. And I think that would be alluring to me for the Panthers. And that's probably why I would take him there for the Panthers. But Downs probably the best prospect overall in this class. New York Jets, they go with John Mateer, quarterback out of Oklahoma. Now things get a little murky because he's going to be out for the next month. He got surgery on a broken bone in his throwing hand, which he played through 3 quarters. There we go. 3 quarters versus Auburn with. Just kind of studded, but he's trending as a first round pick. He just is. He throws with similar velocity as to Baker Mayfield. Not nearly as accurate, but his accuracy has dramatically improved. If you look at what he was last year, but he's thick and he moves like Kyler Murray. There is so much to really like about Mateer. For the Jets, Fields probably isn't the guy. So you're probably going to be in the quarterback market. So I actually like Mateer here for the Jets. And then the Las Vegas Raiders, they go with Francis Maui-Noah, offensive tackle out of the U, baby, the U. He's my OT1. He's going to stay at OT1. Spoiler alert, because I am going to start working on these mid-season rankings for the NFL draft. But yeah, I love Maui-Noah. Glaze, maybe you could kick him into guard. That could be a solution there because the Raiders have, their offensive line just hasn't been good run blocking. That was the case last year. It's been the case this year. I was hoping they might take that next jump, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Maui-Noah would be an excellent addition. We love the NFL draft, and now my draft guide is available for purchase. It comes with over 500 player backgrounds and close to 300 player evals. It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So when I add a new eval or I change my rankings, you're going to be the first to know. It's going to have all the pro day and combine numbers along with analytics, and it's a Google spreadsheet for right now. So you have to include your email with the purchase, but we will be switching over to a website at the end of the year. And if you get it now, it's going to be cheaper now than it will be later. It's a great way to support the channel. And as always, much appreciated, much obliged. Pick 9, the New England Patriots go with TJ Parker, edge out of Clemson. And he has got a high floor. Really does. I don't think he's got elite burst or explosiveness or twitchiness or play strength. But it's all pretty good when it comes to him. And you're kind of hoping it all starts clicking for him sooner rather than later. This year, he's got a moderate pass rush win rate. It's just, as a whole, that defensive line for Clemson's been disappointing. I still think this is too high for him. I did have him as a top 5 player coming into the year, probably closer to that back end of the first round or second half of the first round mix for me, because I still think in terms of the tools, he's pretty, or in terms of his like pass rush toolbox, it's still pretty well put together. The Patriots, they could go edge. I think Mike Vrabel could look at this defense, be like, okay, well, we went heavy with the offense last draft. Let's take care of my guys on the other side of the football. Pick 10, Chicago Bears go with Trevor Gooseby, offensive tackle out of Texas. I love Gooseby. I absolutely love that Renner's given him his flowers. Gooseby was a guy I planted my flag in to start the year. I was like, hey, listen, he only had, I think, 2 starts, but played significant snaps in 4 games last year, and it was all against quality competition. The best or the worst team that they played that Gooseby saw a lot of snaps in was Arizona State in the playoff game. He played A&M. He played Georgia. Trying to remember what that who that other team was. I honestly, I could just come in here and take a quick gander. The teams were Clemson, which I know their defensive line's been meh, but still, and that was the playoff game. That was the playoff game. So like Gooseby, he's great. He's apparently a ridiculous athlete as well, which you see that on the field, but maybe even more so when it comes to the combine. The Bears, I think Braxton Jones is coming off a pretty solid game, but doesn't look like they want to invest long term in him. So maybe they move him. Maybe they move him prior to the trade deadline. I think they got Ozzy Trapillo there, which, I mean, you don't know what you have in him, but still, it was a day 2 guy. Doesn't mean you have to put all your eggs in that basket. I'm a big fan of Gooseby. We got Jermon McCoy, corner out of Tennessee, going to the Bengals. So they will have some guys up on contract coming up. I think Cam Taylor-Britt, Dax Hill, and DJ Turner, excuse me. Let's just look at Bengals 2026 free agents, please. I'm going to click this. As I'm going to start whipping stuff together for my 2026 free agent class video, which that'll probably come out early November, but I like to put all this stuff together early. And teams, let's go to the Bengals. I could put this on screen for you guys. Here, I'll just do that. So Cam Taylor-Britt, contract up next year. Expected market, almost $15 million a year. Golly. Let's look by position. Oh, man. Okay. So I guess Dax Hill and DJ Turner have another year. Let's go to 2027. I mean, are those guys so good that it's going to stop you from... Yeah, Dax Hill is 2027. And so is DJ Turner. Okay. But yeah, if you're out golden, you're probably going to want to get guys that match your system. I think McCoy is that. Is he still going to be my top corner? Even though he hasn't played yet, he's coming off the ACL. You kind of want to see him first. I don't know. But he's going to be in that top 15 mix for me because I really loved his tape. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to go with Dante Moore, quarterback out of Oregon. I did watch Dante Moore this week. Put a TBD grade on him considering his first true test is Penn State this weekend. So I don't want to kind of like sell myself on, okay, this is who I think this guy is. This is where I'd be willing to take him until I see that game first. But yeah, he's starting to get some first round hype, some first round love. I think he's got a solid arm. He puts a lot of throws on the rope. I think he needs to learn how to throw with a bit more touch. While I don't think he's going to burn you with his feet, he's quick enough to elude and escape from the pocket, and he's got a pretty solid release. So I get why people like him, and I can't wait to see how he does against Oregon this week. Steelers, we know they're in the market for a quarterback. Keldrick Folk going to the Dallas Cowboys. Flexible body type. He can play inside. He can play out. He's probably one of the best run defenders in this class. Considering all that, Cowboys, they want to stop the run. He would help them do that. He just adds some versatility to that defensive line. And you have another pick later in this draft. So if they want to go other places, they can. I think Falk's probably a top 10 pick for me. And then Carnell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State, going to the Seahawks. This is interesting. I mean, I know they went out and got Cooper Kupp, and what's the shelf life on that? But looks like they found something in Torrey Horton, which is great. I liked Torrey Horton. I don't know if I'd be willing to go do this in the first round again with the Seahawks. And I mean, what? Yeah, these are JSN, Carnell Tate, all these Ohio State wide receivers. I don't know, man. I don't know. I like Tate, though. He's like a fringe first rounder for me. I don't know if I'd go Tate if I were the Seahawks. You know what would be in the back of my head? Oh, they just extended Abraham Lucas as long as he could stay healthy. Edge. I think Edge would probably be there for me. You could talk about corner. There's some places. Spencer Fano is still on the board. Maybe if you want to just be like, hey, we need. I want the offensive line to be the best that it can. Get these guys in here and figure out where they can play. You could go with Fano, who's coming off kind of a so-so game against Texas Tech. Matter of fact, here Spencer Fano comes off the board right here to the Rams, and I think he's a really good fit. Moves exceptionally well. Whether he ends up being a tackle or a guard, they're probably going to move off of. Oh, actually, Mike Renner mentions it right here. Rob Havenstein's in the final year of his deal. He turns 34 this offseason. So yeah, you probably should be looking for that heir apparent at right tackle. Ooh, new name. I like this. Colton Hood, defensive back out of Tennessee, formerly of Colorado. I know Alex from Hail Mary Sports really liked Colton Hood, and having to step up early with McCoy hurt. I believe they lost another one of their corners earlier in the year, but Hood's been playing good football. I don't believe he's allowed a touchdown yet this season. He's only allowed 4 catches on 17 targets. Oh, goodly. Yeah, I'm going to be watching his tape before I do my corners video, but the corner actually makes a lot of sense for the Browns. I would like to get in on the offensive line class. With Fano coming off the board, you already have Gooseby gone and Maui Noah, so you got the top names gone. So I get why maybe you go elsewhere if you're the Browns. I like the shout out for Hood, man. I really do. Indianapolis Colts go with Mateo Uiagalelei, edge out of Oregon. I think his game's starting to come together, but it still leaves a bit to be desired for me as it stands right now. Colts edge, that makes sense. I think defensive line in general makes sense for the Colts if they want to go after that. You could go after a corner as well. If you're the Colts, and I mean, the question is Danny Dimes the guy, or do they still want to hitch their wagon to Richardson? Like, there's a lot of fascinating things that's going to happen this offseason with the Colts. And then the Houston Texans are going to go with Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. Just makes all the sense in the world. Excuse me. I get choked up when we talk about running backs in the first round. But Love, man, he's just kind of an uber athlete. He's big at 6 foot 214. He's exceptionally fast. He's got a track background. He's tough to bring down. He's after the Miami game, which it was a sloppy game, and it just didn't feel like Notre Dame was playing to their identity and pounding the rock. They switched that in the A&M game. While they still lost, like they were still able to run the ball very effectively. And I think we're going to see Love just have the season we all expected. Offensive line, yes, that's probably got to be in the back of the mind of the Texans, but maybe you just do that via free agency. Arizona Cardinals go with Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle out of Utah. He had a worse game than Fano against Texas Tech. With Lomu, he checks a lot of boxes. Another guy I just talked about in my maybe go back to school video, just because I think he's a first rounder right now, but I think he's got the upside to be a top 10 pick. So Cardinals, obviously, this is your replacement for Jonah Williams. Avion Terrell, corner out of Clemson, going to the Vikings here. And he kind of gives you that Byron Murphy type vibe, which, I mean, there's a reason the Vikings brought Murphy back. Terrell, he's physical. He might be a little undersized, but he wants to get in the face of wide receivers. So he brings that mentality to a Flores defense that demands that. Question is Terrell better in the slot or better outside? Kind of depends on the scheme, I suppose. But Terrell, I know that Clemson's defense has been disappointing. Clemson's been disappointing in general. To be fair, just their offense going through those droughts makes it hard on the defense. But Terrell hasn't been a part of the disappointment, I would say, for the Tigers. The Denver Broncos go with Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver out of USC. I like Lemon. I just included him in my first round mock earlier this week. That mock was really guys that have done well and that I really like. Not necessarily reflects my ranking. It's just guys I wanted to talk about. And Lemon would be a nice addition. The Broncos playmakers themselves have come out and said, hey, we need to play better for Bo Nix. But honestly, Bo Nix needs to play better too. So that a couple of tough losses for the Broncos. But if you're going to look at one area, it's probably, we need to get better pass catchers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they go with Vega. I believe it's Iwane out of Penn State. He's my top guard. I love this dude. He's just a big Samoan that beats the hell out of people. What's there not to like? This one's interesting for the Bucks because I think they extended Ben Breedson this past off season. I mean, I'm not against it. I've never been a big Breedson guy. I think if he's like the fifth best offensive lineman along your line, then yeah, you're probably in good shape. But he would be someone I'd be looking to upgrade from anyway. Ooh, Washington Commanders go with Quincy Rhodes Jr. out of Arkansas. Not the player a lot of people thought prior to the season that we would be talking about out of Arkansas. Some people thought it'd be David Oki, who I talk about in my back to school video. But he's primarily playing off the edge. But I think he's 6'6". Renner has him at 274. Is that what I have him at? 275. Yeah, 275. So we both got him at that. But he's popped off this year. He's going to be someone I watch for before I do my edge video because that's where he's primarily playing off of. And that's a perfect fit for Dan Quinn because he likes these thicker guys that are able to set the edge in the run game. Connor Lew, center out of Auburn. Going to the Niners, I would want to be in the tackle market if I'm the Niners, but I guess I'm not. Who do they got playing center right now? I don't know why I can't think of it off the top of my head. Let's see. We're popping it open. We're taking a look. We're taking a gander. Okay, it's still Brendel, who's been fine. He's been all right. Really, Trent Williams, like he's still playing good, but not to the elite level that we've just been accustomed to with him. I don't know if I'd necessarily go with offensive line if it's not tackle. Oh, they've been starting Connor Kobe At guard, woof. That's been kind of. Oh, that's right. Ben Barch got hurt. Forgot about that. I think he high ankle sprained with him. But Lou's an interesting pick. I figure maybe he's trying to fit him in somewhere because he wants to include him. But I don't think that would be the pick for me if I'm the Niners. And then at pick 25, Josh Hoover, quarterback out of TCU, going to the Rams. I know Mike Renner really likes Hoover. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. Doesn't really hit the size thresholds. I think he's got an okay arm. I don't think it's crazy. It's not a big arm. It's just not. If he's throwing the ball 10 yards or more downfield, there's a chance it might hang on him a little bit. It's not going to come out with the same sort of velocity. But he does a really good job working within structure, getting the ball out, being decisive. He's very much like a rhythm passer. Mike Renner was a big fan of Dylan Gabriel last year, and I think Hoover kind of falls into that. I don't think he's a first round guy. Maybe this is just Mike Renner wanting to talk about my guy. And then we got the Chargers. They go with Cade Piper out of Iowa. Haven't watched him yet. He did make I believe he made my watch list, right? But he had such a small. Did he make my watch list? I think I gotta add him. I think he had such a small sample size that I was like, okay, well, if he just pops off, I'll watch him during the year. But reports are he's kind of a freak in terms of his tools and athleticism. And if you're the Chargers, there was that thing I retweeted or reposted on the X where you look at the 3 teams that invested highly in running back this past draft. Their offensive lines are the worst run blocking units in the NFL currently. So, yeah, if you're the Chargers, you're going to want to solve that. Oh, we got another guard coming off the board. Caden Green out of Mizzou. Listen, Missouri, man, they're blocking like some fools out there. They got Ahmad Hardy, the former Louisiana Monroe transfer, going off. He's going to be a name we talk about in 2027, and I'm really excited for that. The Lions, because is it currently Tate Ratledge playing center? Or is it it's Glasgow. So they're going to lose Glasgow. Tate Ratledge has been all right this year. Could be doing better as a pass protector, but he's a rookie. Don't mind that. Christian Mahogany's been it's been all right. So yeah, maybe they look to get back to we're mean in the trenches. We need to stay mean in the trenches. I mean, the Lions are a popular Connor Lewis spot as well. All right, we got pick 28, Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to go with Anthony Lucas, edge out of USC. He's having a good year. He really is. So I did do an eval on him, and I think for me, it was just the small sample size. Yeah, I had him as a developmental edge. He's got a pedigree, former 5-star. But looking at the negatives, hasn't played over 300 snaps in any given season, has yet to record a sack in his career. I don't know if that's still true. Let's jump to USC real quick and take a look at how he's doing, how he's performing. I'm going to give USC a watch this week because they got Illinois. But I heard that Lucas was playing pretty darn well. But so is USC. All right, so Lucas currently he's got 2 sacks this year, 15 pressures. Devin Tompkins. Oh, I got to check that guy out later. All right, I want to look at the pass rush win rate for Anthony. 18.2%. That's pretty darn solid. I don't know if that's I mean, it could be enough because he's long. I mean, 6'5", 285. He kind of fits what Spagnuolo likes along that defensive line. Ooh, I like the shout out. Pick 29, Philadelphia Eagles go with Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon. He's easily the top tight end in this class. Dallas Goedert, I think, is in the final year of his deal, but he's up there in years. How healthy can he stay? Calcaterra really is just a tight end 2 on that squad, and I think actually Kyle Granson has kind of stepped into that role as well. So if you're looking for a guy for the future, Sadiq could be that dude. Dallas Cowboys, they're double dipping on the defensive line. They go with Caden McDonald, defensive tackle out of Ohio State, who is having a good year. He's not really a crazy good pass rusher, but I mean, at 6'3", 326, you're kind of you don't expect him to be like a nasty pass rusher, but he's a phenomenal run defender. I mean, if Talik Williams could go in the first round, as mentioned here, then McDonald could be capable of. He was in the rotation last year, and now he's getting a chance to be kind of the full-time starter. Buffalo Bills go with Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State. I think if you are looking for a Matt Milano replacement, his teammate Arvell Reese might be the better fit, but Sonny Styles is really good in his own right. And I mean, Mike Renner brings up could be the next Tremaine Edmonds for Sean McDermott, both being like just really good athletes, former safeties. And then the final pick here, it's David Bailey, edge out of Texas Tech. Yeah, we need to talk about this dude in the first round. I think he's pretty darn good. I think the play strength, it's not just gritty, but he's playing stronger. He didn't have like gaudy numbers against Utah, but he was facing 2 top tackles in this class on top of an offense that really leans into RPO and maybe roll in pockets. And Bailey was kind of playing a little bit of a QB spy. He would go in for stunts, be like, okay, there's nothing open. Let me just sit here and follow Dan Pierre out of the pocket. And he did a good job with that. So I love Bailey, man. I really do. He's had a phenomenal year. You could say Cassius Howe in this spot as well. I'm a big fan of his, but there's your mock draft. Some interesting names, some interesting picks for some teams. Again, Dolphins fan, don't love the Peter Woods selection, but hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. Special thanks to our friends over at the Captors Collective. Check out the link in the description. It's also the pinned comment. But as always, until next time, be easy, my friends. Later.